called the angel share. This evaporation fills the aging warehouse with a warm, rich aroma that whiskey fans can only dream of. When the aging is complete, distillers test the whiskey to ensure it has the right alcohol content. Some add filtered water to adjust the proof, either before aging, after aging, or both. The result? A beautifully matured whiskey that's ready for the final steps. Now to the blending. This is where art meets science. But not all whiskeys are blended though. Straight whiskeys and single malt scotches skip this step. They're bottled straight from the barrel. But for most other types, blending is so important to achieving a consistent taste profile. Here's how it works. Different batches of whiskey are mixed to create a balanced flavor. Neutral grain spirit might be added to mellow things out, while caramel ensures a uniform color. Some blends even get a touch of sherry or port wine to help the flavors harmonize. Blended Scotch whiskey, for example, combines several strong malt whiskeys with milder grain whiskeys. Premium blends can include over 60 different malt whiskeys. It's a critical step that separates good whiskey from truly great whiskey, especially for Scotch. And you have to remember, whiskey isn't a one-size-fits-all spirit. Its character is shaped by where it's made, the grains in its mash, and how it's blended or aged. Each type tells a unique story, starting with blended whiskey, which combines various whiskeys for a smoother flavor, sometimes from different distilleries. Bourbon takes us to America, often Kentucky, with its requirement of at least 51% corn in the mash and aging in new charred oak barrels. The result is a sweet, nutty profile. But Canadian whiskey must be aged for at least 3 years in Canada and can include flavorings. Each brand has its own personality. Ireland brings us Irish whiskey. It's crafted from malt, barley, and other grains and aged in wooden casks for a minimum of 3 years. Its smooth, subtle character often shines when aged in sherry or rum barrels. Japanese whiskey, inspired by Scotch, offers a diverse range of flavors. Some smoky and Scotch-like, others uniquely Japanese thanks to local oak. Rye whiskey, with its mash bill of at least 51% rye, is lighter-bodied but delivers a distinctive spiciness. Like bourbon, it's aged in new charred oak barrels in the US. Scotch whiskey, made in Scotland and aged for at least 3 years, owes its smoky edge to peat fires used during production. For those who appreciate purity, single malt whiskey comes from a single distillery using one type of malted grain. It might include whiskey from several barrels unless it's labeled single cask. Finally, Tennessee whiskey adds its own twist. It filters the spirit through sugar maple charcoal before aging. Known as the Lincoln County process, this step gives it a smooth, distinct flavor. Every type of whiskey follows its own rules. So if you're a fan, there's a lot to explore.